Okay, part 2. Cold Sunday morning. It's -8 or 9 out. Okay, we got to take off this support bracket here before we can get the cylinders off. Oh, I got to put a wrench on that one. Underneath.
Take it real soon. You know we got what you need, baby. So take it, move along. I said we got what you need, honey. Come and groove along. Come on. Rolling on the highway, heat up. Wow. Come on, and move along. Come on, said babe. I said babe. Oh honey, come and move along. You gotta feel it, yeah. You gotta move along. You gotta feel it.
Right here, you can see that sticking up. That's the hardest one to get out. I even had a mechanic friend suggest, it's not going to hurt to drill a hole right straight through here. There's lots of holes in here already. There's 3 of them here for what reason, I don't know. Could easily drill a hole right through here. Make do that, putting it together. But this is what I had to do. I had to hacksaw. Well, I used a cutting wheel to cut off a bit for my screwdriver with the Allen head in it, and it's a 1/4 inch, little tiny wee 1/4 inch wrench I used to get it out. And the reason isn't there's just enough room to turn this once. If you turn it too far, then you'll never get the screw out because this will be in the way. So you only turn it once, and then you got to hope that it's loose enough with the threads to get your fingers on it. And I don't even think it's even going to come out. No, I don't think it's going to come out. I think it's going to come out with the lid. So I'm tempted to drill that hole right in the frame there. A lot of guys will put a flathead bolt back in there rather than an Allen head. And then you can get a wrench on it. Push it out that way. Yeah, it's just not enough room to get that out in there. Okay. Put this over here. 1, 2, 3. The 4th one's over there. Put that special tool wrench right there with it. Okay, it's getting hot in here now. Gonna replace all of these gaskets. I'm gonna turn it to top dead center too. I'm gonna pop these covers off here, and let's just see if those are the stock push rods in there. I need some caffeine. My brain's just a fog. Push this down here. These are going to be stuck in there. Yep, those are the stock push rods. This one's got the black painted stripe on it. That's how they used to do them. They're color coded. So I'll probably put adjustables in there. Anything here? Oh, I don't think they've ever been apart. Oh, they're just gummed right up. This one's got the blue paint stripes on it. There are two blue paint stripes. This one's got black. Okay, let me go turn it to top dead center on compression stroke. They're burning pretty clean. Those are still good. So I'm going to turn it in the direction of movement this way here. I might be in gear. Should be neutral. Put your finger over the hole. You can hear it's getting to the top there. Should be pretty close, but let me just check. Stick a screwdriver in there. Still going up. Going down. Whoa. Right about there. I think the momentum of the crank is going to push it a bit. It's pretty close to top dead center. Like you can spin the push rods pretty freely now. Okay, I'm going to undo all the smaller bolts first. You don't want to undo the big bolts and they get down to your last two little 1/4 inch bolts here and have all the pressure of the valve springs on it. I've got it at top dead center, so it should be avoiding that anyways, but it has rolled past, so there might be a little bit of pressure on them. So that's my theory. Take out all the small ones first. And that's how I do it when I torque it in reverse. Same thing. Put the big ones in first, and then the little ones. If you put the little ones in first and torque them, and then you torque the big ones, well, you probably loosened up all the little ones. These all got a little washer on them. There. Now there's 3 7/16 ones and then the 4 1/2 inch ones. So yep. Gonna have to go to my short socket. grab those with my finger now. The rear cylinder is the hardest for sure. These are garbage. That's why I'm doing it first. Get it out of the way. I'm gonna paint these too. I don't know if I'll sandblast them first or just clean them up really good and repaint them. Sometimes it's better just to do that rather than deal with the sand, all the issues with the sand, getting into everything. Yeah, both cylinders, half the paint's missing off the cylinder's end head. There's a washer underneath each of these. Make sure you get them out. Don't want them to fall down in there. Let me get my magnet. Now the hard one. Okay, there's that. Now the 1/2-inch ones. The other side, you got to put you can't get the bolts out until you take this out. And when you put it in, you got to do it the same way. Just get this out, it just makes it easier to work with. Push rods is the issue. Get the push rods out. So blue is the intake. This is factory. Never been apart. Whoop. Whack. That one. Okay. So when you put it together, you gotta put these two in first and get it in there. Oh, it's leaking on the inside too, just a pile of grit there. And just have a quick look at the followers, the rockers, make sure they're all right. They look all right. Push rod holes, they look good. Not a lot of miles on this. Bolts back in their holes. 2 Allen heads, they go in here. 7/16 in here. Can use my breaker bar. That's a 1/2-inch 12-point socket on there. Holy mother, those are good. That's what I was worried about, breaking one of them suckers off. engine's coming out. This one's got lots of oil soaked on this one. That one's easy. Come on, everything's falling off on me here. That goes there. There. Oh, that one's turn with one hand. I did soak that one, and I soaked this one. No, these ones are really easy. That's probably why the base gasket's leaking. Wow. These gaskets have been replaced. These are James gaskets in here, so I'm pretty sure the original Harley ones were all black, like just pure black. And paper. So these are James gaskets, and somebody didn't torque that side or didn't torque it enough because those two were like this loose. So that's why it was leaking. When these Evolutions came out, it was a recall. Any ones that leaked was a recall. I don't know what the kilometers were, 30, 40,000 kilometers, maybe 30,000 kilometers, something like that. Because when they first came out, not the 1990 models, but the 85, 84, 85. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's see what we got here. Oh, the stud came out with this one. That was the one that was so hard to get out. That's going to be tricky. Bend it a little bit to get it by there. The whole stud is seized right in there on this one. I'm gonna have to just bend it enough to get it out. I probably have to replace them both anyways. Gonna have to replace the stud. Just get a little bit more. Oh, God. Yeah, that happens. I probably have to use heat to get that off of there. I'm gonna soak it for now. Okay. I'm gonna blow this all off in here. I'm gonna try to clean it a little bit better first, because at this point now you don't want any dirt falling in here. So let me blow off as much as I can. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, blew that off. I actually sprayed a little oil around too. That keeps the dust down. I'm gonna get a clean rag to shove in there right off the bat. I bought a bag of these rags here for $7.95 for, I don't know, must weigh 10 pounds anyway. Yep, this has been apart right down to here. Turn the crank down. The bore looks really good. Let me just get a rag here on my fingers. Don't really feel any ridge line or anything. It's actually perfect. It's in really good shape. Just needs a really good cleaning, and I'm going to paint that up. So this has been apart, which is strange. Most guys that take it apart will go right to the adjustable push rods right off the bat. And this one isn't. I'm going to put some paper in these holes right now. So I'm going to be scraping that gasket off. Yeah. Yeah, there's carbon there. I don't want to get the carbon in there. Look at that gasket. These James gaskets are pretty good gaskets. It's a steel gasket. Okay, I want to get this all stuffed down in the crankcase down here. Make sure I don't get any debris in there. Push that right in there. Just like that. Anything falls in when you pull it out. Okay, now I'm going to clean these gasket surfaces up here. Just wipe out the major stuff right now. Make sure nothing goes inside. It's actually really clean. I could put a gasket on that right now. That's how clean that is. These two weren't tight enough. I'll try to scrape that carbon off too. Okay, a couple things so far. I got the piston all cleaned up here. Soaked it in the penetrating oil and brake cleaner and scrape it. Just make sure you got the cases covered really well. Fine little screwdriver to scrape out inside the fly cuts and wipe it. But what I noticed, like when I just pulled the cylinder straight off, and what I always kind of look for is where's the valve space, the ring spacing. And one ring spacing was over here. This is the back at the exhaust, and the other one was here. I've spun it since, but the two of them were set at the back. They should be set at the front at the intake. The coolest part of that's where the fuel's coming in, it's cooler. So never put your ring end gaps at the exhaust side. I noticed that. Plus I was able to get this off. It's a lot of work. I soaked it in penetrating oil, and then I was able to turn it back a couple turns, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and got my impact on it. And I did it without scoring the stud. If you score the stud, it weakens it. So this was Loctited in there. There was a big chunk of Loctite inside here, and I couldn't even get it to thread in all the way because of all the Loctite. So I'd use my tap, clean that out, and then now it threads in all the way. So I'm going to clean all these other threads up, and I'm going to clean all the other studs as well too. You don't Loctite this. You don't Loctite the head bolts. You Loctite the stud. You can Loctite the stud into the case, but you never Loctite the head bolts. So somebody did that wrong. Piston rings went wrong, and these two weren't torqued down because they were just practically loose. And yeah, I've got adjustable push rods, but that's just it. They're adjustable push rods. They're not the ones that come right down that you can slide them in and out. You have to install them. So I think I'm going to order a set of the good adjustable push rods you can stick in after the fact. A lot easier to work on if you want to pull lifters out, the lifter blocks out. Even those adjustable ones, I'd have to take out take the heads off. So I'm going to order a set of them. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue cleaning out the rest of these head bolts, and I'm soaking the cylinder, and then I'm going to pull the valves out. Going to pop the valves out. Got these gaskets stick on like they're baked on there, so I'm using my right angle grinder with a scrub. This is the scrub pad on here. But if I take the valves out, I can do it a lot easier. So I'm just going to do the quick way to take the valves out. Just get a socket, put it over top of the thing, give it a whack. Make sure you got a rag jammed in there nice and tight so the valve doesn't go down. And I'll measure these springs. Clean the valves, check the valves. Put new valve seals on. That's the exhaust valve. You tell she's burning a little lean on that rear cylinder. That bigger jet's going to help. It looks pretty good though. I can clean that up. There's even room to turn it down if I want to turn it down. The stem doesn't look too worn at all. I'll clean that up. Oh, that one's under good. Let's make sure we got lots of rag under there. It's got a good seat on it, but I'm going to clean it up, make sure it's not dished out. It's pretty carboned up. Gonna need new valve seals. There's the intake valve. Looks really good. It's got a nice narrow little seat all the way around. Good shape. Just gonna lap it in. Got it all cleaned up. I just cleaned them up on my wire wheel over there. To me, I've had that for probably close to 20 years. Probably 20 years. That's the handiest tool I've ever bought. And the most needed. I use it for everything. Cleaning up the threads on a rusty bolt, cleaning up parts and valves, and it's just the handiest tool I've ever used. Okay, I got the valves out. I just got to measure the springs. I'm going to clean the springs and measure them. And they're kind of gummed up a little bit. And then clean the head up. Seats look good. I'm just going to soak that in Varsol. And there's my Varsol tank there. Clean this all up. Pop the valve seals out. There's the dowel. Okay, I'm going to work on that, cleaning it up.
Louise is checking with the babysitter.
Pigs here? Let me see your pigs here.
Good. Fine. Anything wrong?
Oh, Larry and I were just discussing baseball. I was just wondering how short-lived a player's life can be.
Can I have some?
Oh, I left them.
No?
Excuse me.
What does it tell?
Good news for you, Cos.
Maybe I can come up with a slogan that'll make her happy by the time we meet tomorrow.
He's gonna go try to hide.
Or is Daddy a man?
Okay, I got the gasket surfaces cleaned off. My right angle grinder here. This one I bought at Harbor Freight in Port Huron, and I think I've had it. I bought it at this house, so it's less than 5 years old, maybe 4 years old, maybe not even that, 3 or 4 years old, and yeah, it's garbage. I used it a lot though, got its money's worth. So I went out to buy another one today at Princess Auto. Princess Auto is the same as, pretty much the same as Harbor Freight, but it's in Canada. And they're sold out. They're sold out of everything. So then I went to TSC, which is now PV, and they were sold out, but they had 2 of these left, Ingersoll Rands. These are the best ones on the market. Ingersoll Rand's a top brand name, warranty, everything else. Quite a bit more money though. I think that I paid $29 for that one, and this was $89. But that was $30 US. So what's that? $40 Canadian. So twice the price plus tax though. But this is a really good one. I just put a little bit of oil in, a couple drops, and get that cleaned off. So now I'm gonna put I already did the valve or the exhaust stud that was broken off. I heated it up, tried to get it out, couldn't. It snapped off again. I ground it square, drilled it out, and yeah, this one here. And I put an insert in there. I'd love to take that one out, but it's not budging either. That one's going to eventually break off. I'm just going to leave it in there for now. These are 5/16 by 24 threads, and I need a new nut, which I can't find. But this one I had to put an insert in, metric. I put an 8 mil. I'm going to put an 8 mil stud in here. I just going to make one. So anyways, I'm going to get the valves back in here. Actually, I'm going to clean it up really good, scrub it some more, and brake clean it, and then dip it in hot boiling soapy water, and then I'm going to paint it. And the same with the cylinder. The cylinder has been in here soaking. I keep washing it, soaking it, washing it, soaking it. You see all the old paints pretty much off it, but I'm gonna wash that in hot boiling water too. Brake clean it really good, and then hot soapy water, and then I'm gonna paint that, and then I can get the rear cylinder back together. And then I'll start on the front cylinder, which reminds me, I'm gonna Loctite in the stud right now so it's nice and dry. And in there right now, the piston looks really good, you know. Piston's in really nice shape there. So I got a lot of this cleaned up in here too. But when I get this cylinder back together, I'll be able to clean it some more in here. And maybe touch that up with some paint too. Touch up the inner primary. And tomorrow I'm gonna go get that starter motor if the weather's good. Okay, I'm gonna work on this head. Just did the cylinder at the same time. I got so much crap in this garage I can hardly move. Lots of water on the floor. Okay, I'm gonna put the valve springs and the valves back in and try to scrape this down a little bit more. I'm trying to avoid the sandblasting right now, because in the sandblasting is another whole cleaning issue. You know, you get a little bit of sand in there, it can hurt the engine pretty badly. So I'm just going to scrape off any of the loose stuff best I can, give it a coat of it's a black satin engine paint. I think it's Nail, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to work on that. Just a little dab of assembly lube on there. Finally, the compressor shuts off. Okay, let me get my valve compression tool. Come on. Way too much crap on my bench. Just pisses me off working like this. Okay, let's get that in there. I got hard to keep my mind on things right now. I got so much going on behind the scenes here I gotta take care of. You spin it, turn it about 15-20 degrees. Just keep turning it, Doesn't need much. That valve was in good shape. Now you want to clean this off real good. That's a real nice tight margin on there. Really nice shape. Want to get all that stuff off of there. Overlapping compound. Should be nothing on there now. Okay. Little dab of assembly lube. Oh, I gotta put the valve seal on there. I couldn't find that valve seal installer. I found it, I hadn't seen it in like a year, and I found it like a couple weeks ago. I thought it was in that drawer. I might have moved it. So I'm just using a socket just to catch the outer edge of it, the steel edge of it. If you got a socket, you don't want the socket sitting on that rubber. It's got to catch the metal lip, the outer metal lip right there, which is beyond the blue, like right here beyond the blue, that metal lip right there. And this socket fits perfect. Okay. The spring compressor's pushed the spring this way, so it's too tight to get this in there. So I just kind of get it in position, and then I'm going to have to push the spring over like this. Hope it doesn't pop out. Oh, do not want that popping out. There we go. Should do it. And if you got a rubber hammer, you just give those a little tap. Make sure they're seated in there. Like that. Okay, I think I can slap some paint on that one. Okay, I got the cylinder painted 2 coats. Looks pretty good. And I got the head done up here. It should be dry by now, but that looks pretty good. Look, it'll look nice on there. So I'm just gonna let that cure overnight. And tomorrow I'll put this back together. Oh, I gotta get that bolt from Peter. I gotta go to Peter's, take his tools back. And yeah, it looks like this is going to be a 3 or 4 part video. I'm going to make an 8mm stud for the head. And these are, oh yeah, 8mm nuts. So yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. This is a long enough video. You know, I could do it all in one video and speed it up, but I think it's better to have a little bit of talking in them. And yeah, I'll just put this together tomorrow. It should go pretty easily. Once everything's all cleaned up, everything's all painted, should go pretty quick. And then the front cylinder is easier, and it's going to be the same thing. So I'll finish this up tomorrow, this video, with putting the front end together and maybe pulling this one apart. Okay, that's it for tonight. Cheers.